there are many articles being written about loneliness and how, like you said, it might even be our next public health issue. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts upon this, and why do you feel so many people are experiencing loneliness more and more often these days? And it might be very obvious, but it's sometimes very good to still hear it.
No. I think there are a lot of things going on, but I basically think it has to do with the changes in the ways we're living our lives, basically. I think, as we said before, there are more people living alone into a later age, and that means the tribe is not the same. You know, you have all these alternative ways of having families, and I think that's so great in some ways, but I also think all of this sort of experimentation with that is new, and that means that during that transition time, there's sort of discomfort and sometimes sadness that comes from that discomfort as we sort of figure it all out. But, it used to be that you would live in your hometown and you had your own parents across town who could help raising your kids when you had them. And there was this little tribe of people. And now we're sort of we live these kind of global lives.
Yeah.
I remember applying to colleges. I grew up in Maryland, and it was people went to college all over. Some people went out to Stanford in California. Some people went to, school in Boston. Some people went over to Edinburgh, and that nobody questioned that. Whereas maybe a generation or two ago, why would you want to go across the country for college? It was like you just stayed closer to home. And while that's great, and I think our experiences, one might argue, are richer for having sort of having cast a wide net and having this sense of adventure. I think it also, from the home standpoint, can leave us with some things to grapple with, right? So, mm-hmm. I think there's that piece. And I also think technology, it has great potential to bring people together, and it has already fulfilled some of that potential. I think of my brother who lives on the West Coast Skyping with my grandmother so that she can see her great grandson. Without that real-time face-to-face interaction, my grandmother would only see Jack once a year at Christmas, and she wouldn't know him as well. And that would make her sad. And it would also be a loss for baby Jack, too, to not know his elder family members. And he would likely feel that loss later in life, right? Mm-hmm. But still, that's a Band-Aid solution. We need to think about the root of this growing sense of loneliness we seem to be experiencing and tackle it there. So the way I see it, Skype and FaceTime and the like have been developed to reestablish connection in a world in which much of it has been lost for various, one of the reasons I cited before, but there are others, we have longer work days and commutes, right? We no longer have the tribe. The societal pressure to get married and have children has lightened. So we're living alone and single deeper into our 30s and beyond. The elderly are living longer, but retiring at the same age. So there's more idle time, and they're likely not spending it interacting with their families, but in nursing homes or other kinds of age-specific communities, mm-hmm. To which they've been kind of shuttled off. So the point is, we're making some big changes in the way we live our lives that may prove to be deeply unhealthy, and no amount of Facebook Messenger or robot friends or whatever else developers think of will fix it. There is no stand-in for that human, flesh to flesh.
No, it's true. Yeah.
Interaction. And that's not something that I've just made up. That's something that psychologists like Sidney Engelberg, who was on season 1 of the show, he's a psychology professor in Tel Aviv, has, studies to back that up, that it's just not a stand-in for real human contact.